Close your eyes now. Let them rest. The day is ending, and somewhere far away, in a land of misty mountains and peach blossoms, a gentle story is beginning just for you. Breathe slowly. Feel the quiet settle around you like soft silk. High above the world where clouds gather like cotton and the air tastes of jasmine, there lives a very special monkey. His name is Son Wukong, though tonight we need not think of grand titles or ancient legends. Tonight he is simply a friend who knows the secret paths between earth and sky. The sun has melted into orange and pink behind the mountain peaks. Mist rises from hidden valleys, curling upward like incense smoke. The first stars are beginning to wake, blinking sleepily in the darkening sky. Everything is soft. Everything is still. Wukong sits on the edge of a cloud that drifts as gently as a feather on water. His golden fur catches the last light of evening, warm and peaceful. He is not the fierce warrior of old stories tonight. He is quiet, thoughtful, his dark eyes reflecting the calm of approaching night. Let your shoulders drop. Feel them melt away from your ears. The cloud beneath him is not ordinary. It moves with the rhythm of breathing, rising and falling ever so slightly, like the chest of someone deep in sleep. Wukong has learned to match his breath to this rhythm, in and out, slowly, so slowly that time itself seems to pause. Below, the mountains stretch endlessly, their peaks soft purple in the twilight. Streams of silver wind between the hills, catching starlight like scattered diamonds. Cherry trees dot the slopes, their blossoms pale as moonlight, whispering secrets to the evening breeze. Come, says Wukong, though his voice is barely louder than the sigh of wind through bamboo. Come with me tonight. We will travel the old paths, the quiet ways where wisdom grows like moss on ancient stones. He extends his hand, not to you, but to the night itself. The cloud responds, beginning to drift forward with the gentleness of a lullaby. There is no hurry here, no need to rush. Time moves like honey, sweet and golden slow. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the weight of the day leave your limbs. As the cloud carries them forward, Wukong tells the night about patience, how he has learned to wait for the right moment, the perfect breath, the gentle word that opens hearts instead of demanding attention. His tail curls contentedly around him as he speaks, a furry comma in the story of this peaceful evening. The air is filled with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and the distant smoke of temple incense. Somewhere far below, a bell chimes once, soft and clear, echoing between the mountains before fading into silence. The sound seems to say, all is well, all is peaceful, all is exactly as it should be. Wukong closes his eyes for a moment, feeling the clouds' gentle motion beneath him. When he opens them again, they sparkle with quiet joy. Do you feel it? He whispers to the stars. The way the world holds us when we stop trying to hold it. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, in and out, like waves on a distant shore. The cloud drifts over a hidden valley where paper lanterns float freely, untethered, following their own dreamy paths through the darkness. Their warm light paints everything in soft gold and amber. Some drift close enough to touch, their paper warm against the cool night air. Others dance further away, like fireflies made of moonbeams. Wukong reaches out to cup one gently in his palm. The lantern glows brighter for a moment, as if pleased by the touch, then continues on its wandering way. Even light knows how to play, he murmurs, smiling. The mountains below are growing mistier now, their sharp edges softening into dreams. Clouds gather around the peaks like cotton blankets, tucking the earth in for the night. The moon, still just a silver crescent, peeks shyly through the gathering mist. In this quiet space between day and night, between earth and sky, there is no need for grand gestures or mighty deeds. Here, the smallest kindness shines like a star. The gentlest word carries further than any shout. The softest touch can move mountains of worry from weary hearts. Imagine a warm night breeze touching your face like a gentle blessing. Wukong stretches, not with the power that once shook the heavens, but with the simple pleasure of someone comfortable in their own skin. His movements are slow, deliberate, mindful. Each gesture seems to say, this moment is enough. This breath is a gift. This quiet is a treasure beyond price. The cloud turns gently eastward, where the first hints of tomorrow's dawn might eventually bloom, but that is many hours away. For now, there is only this soft darkness, this drifting peace, this gentle companion who has learned that the greatest adventures happen not in the rushing of wind and fire, but in the deep stillness where hearts can finally rest. Below them, a stream catches starlight and holds it, creating a ribbon of silver that winds between sleeping hills. The water makes no sound from this height, but Wukong knows as it sings a lullaby to the stones and the small creatures that come to drink under cover of darkness. Listen, he whispers, though there is almost nothing to hear, just the soft whisper of cloud through sky, the distant rustle of bamboo leaves, the even quieter sound of peace settling over the world like snow. Let the quiet carry you deeper into rest, deeper into calm. The journey has only just begun, but already the night feels different, softer somehow, more spacious, as if there is room here for every worry to dissolve, every tension to release, every restless thought to finally settle into stillness. Wukong's cloud drifts onward through the star-painted sky, carrying its gentle passenger toward whatever quiet wonders await in the misty mountains ahead. There is no destination that cannot wait, no goal that will not keep until tomorrow. Tonight is for floating, for breathing, for letting the world hold you as tenderly as a mother holds a sleeping child. The monkey's eyes reflect the starlight as he gazes ahead into the peaceful darkness, ready to share whatever gentle teachings the night might offer. His smile is soft as moonlight, his presence as comforting as the warm glow of a lantern in a temple courtyard, and the cloud drifts on, carrying its precious cargo of peace into the waiting arms of the dreaming world. The cloud begins its gentle descent, following the contours of sleeping hills like water finding its natural course. Below, a valley opens like a cupped palm, cradling something magical in the starlight. As they drift closer, the air grows sweeter, filled with the delicate perfume of countless blossoms. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift deeper into peace. Ah, whispers Wukong, his voice soft as silk, rustling in a gentle breeze. The peach orchard. I have not been here for many seasons. His eyes light up with the simple joy of recognition, like meeting an old friend after a long journey. Would you like to walk among the trees? The blossoms are at their most beautiful now, when the night holds them like precious pearls. The cloud settles with the tenderness of a falling leaf, coming to rest at the edge of an orchard that stretches beyond sight. Peach trees grow in neat, dreamy rows, their branches heavy with flowers that glow pale pink and white in the moonlight. The petals catch starlight and hold it, making each blossom seem lit from within by gentle fire. Wukong steps from the cloud onto soft grass that feels like the finest silk beneath his feet. Each blade seems to bow in welcome, releasing tiny drops of dew that sparkle like scattered diamonds. The earth here is alive with quiet contentment, breathing slowly in rhythm with the sleeping world above. Come, he says, though he speaks to no one visible. His words carried on the night breeze to anyone who might be listening. Walk with me. Here, there is no need to hurry. The peach blossoms will wait. They know the value of patience. Feel the earth holding you, solid and safe beneath you. He begins to walk between the rows of trees, his steps so light they barely disturb the grass. The peach trees seem to lean in slightly as he passes, their branches creating gentle archways of pink and white overhead. Petals drift down like snow, landing on his golden fur and in the grass around his feet. The night is alive with soft sounds, the whisper of leaves touching leaves, the distant trickle of a hidden stream, the the almost silent flutter of night blooming, moths drawn to the pale blossoms. Somewhere in the distance, a nightingale tries a few experimental notes, then settles into a melody so sweet it seems to make the flowers glow brighter. Wukong pauses beside a tree whose blossoms are particularly full, their petals edged with silver in the moonlight. He reaches up, not to pick the flowers, but simply to breathe in their fragrance. "Do you know," he murmurs, "what these trees have taught me? That beauty shared is beauty multiplied. They give their perfume freely to anyone who passes. They ask nothing in return. Let your shoulders drop. Release all the tension of the day." A small field mouse emerges from beneath a fallen log, its tiny eyes bright with curiosity rather than fear. It sits up on its hind legs, whiskers twitching, as it regards the golden monkey with perfect trust. Wukong crouches down slowly, extending one finger toward the tiny creature. "Hello, little friend," he whispers. "Are you also enjoying the peaceful night?" The mouse sniffs delicately at his finger, then climbs onto his palm with the confidence of one who has never known unkindness. Wukong lifts it gently, bringing it closer to his face so they can regard each other with mutual respect. "You see," he tells the mouse in a voice barely louder than breathing, "you understand what took me many years to learn. That size has nothing to do with importance. That the smallest beings often carry the biggest wisdom. That fear melts away when we approach each other with gentle hearts." The mouse seems to nod, or perhaps it is simply grooming its whiskers. Either way, Wukong smiles and carefully places it back among the soft grass, where it disappears with a tiny rustle of gratitude. Breathe slowly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Deeper into the orchard they wander, where the trees grow older and their trunks twist into graceful spirals that speak of centuries of patient growth. Here the blossoms are larger, their perfume deeper and more complex, like a symphony of scents that tells the story of countless springs. An ancient peach tree stands at the heart of this section, its trunk so wide that 10 people holding hands could barely encircle it. Its branches spread in all directions, creating a natural pavilion where moonlight filters through blossoms like light through stained glass. Beneath its canopy, the air is filled with an almost visible peace. Wukong settles cross-legged at the base of the great tree, his back against its time-smoothed bark. The tree seems to welcome him, its ancient presence both grounding and uplifting. He closes his eyes and simply breathes, letting the perfume of 10,000 blossoms fill his lungs and his heart. "This tree," he whispers to the night, "has seen 1,000 springs. It has weathered storms that would have broken younger trees. It has given shade to countless travellers, fruit to feed the hungry, beauty to comfort the sorrowful. Yet it asks for nothing but a little earth, a little water, a little sunlight, rest in the rhythm of your breath, each breath a small blessing. A gentle breeze stirs the branches overhead, and petals begin to fall like slow snow. They land on Wukong's fur, in his cupped palms around his feet. Each petal is perfect in its imperfection, some pure white, others blushed with the faintest pink, all carrying the sweet promise of fruit to come. He opens his eyes and watches the petals fall, each one following its own graceful path to earth. Some spiral lazily, taking their time. Others fall straight and true. A few catch on the breeze and dance sideways before settling. No two fall exactly the same way, yet all are perfect in their falling. Even in letting go, Wukong murmurs, catching a petal in his palm. There is grace. Even in endings, there is beauty. These petals know that their falling is not loss, but transformation. They become part of the earth that feeds the tree, part of the cycle that brings new blossoms next spring. The petal in his palm is soft as a baby's cheek, translucent enough that moonlight passes through it, showing the delicate veins that once carried life. He brings it to his lips and breathes in its sweetness, then lets it drift away on the night breeze to find its own perfect place to rest. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the peace of the orchard settle into your bones. From somewhere in the distance comes the soft sound of water over stones. A stream winds through the far edge of the orchard, its voice a gentle murmur that blends with the nightingale's song and the whisper of wind through blossoms. The water catches starlight and carries it along, creating moving patterns of light and shadow on its surface. Wukong rises slowly, brushing petals from his fur with gentle care. Each petal that falls seems reluctant to leave him, clinging for a moment before drifting away. He bows deeply to the ancient peach tree, pressing his palms together in gratitude. "Thank you, old friend," he whispers, "for the lesson of patience, for the gift of beauty freely given, for showing me that the greatest strength is in gentleness, the deepest wisdom in simplicity." The tree's branches sway slightly, as if returning his bow, and more petals fall in a gentle cascade around him. The night air shimmers with their perfume, sweet and clean and full of promise. Imagine a warm night breeze, carrying the scent of peach blossoms, washing away all worry. As he walks back towards the waiting cloud, Wukong moves even more slowly than before, savouring each step through the soft grass, each breath of flower-scented air. The orchard seems reluctant to let him go, branches reaching out to brush his shoulders gently, petals swirling around him in tiny whirlwinds of farewell. A family of rabbits emerges from behind a cluster of young trees, their white fur silvered by moonlight. They sit perfectly still, watching him pass with large, dark eyes full of trust. The smallest rabbit, barely bigger than a handful of cotton, hops closer and touches his foot with one tiny paw before bounding back to its family. Sleep well, little ones, Wukong whispers. Dream of spring mornings and sweet clover. Dream of sunshine and gentle rain. May your burrows be warm and your hearts be light. The rabbits seem to nod before disappearing back into the shadowy spaces between the trees, leaving only the faintest rustle to mark their passage. Let the quiet carry you deeper into rest, deeper into dreams of peach blossoms and starlight. The cloud awaits him at the orchard's edge, patient as a faithful horse. Wukong climbs aboard with the same care he showed to everything in the orchard, settling cross-legged in its center as it begins to rise. The peach trees below grow smaller but not less beautiful, their blossoms creating patterns of light and shadow that shift gently in the breeze. As they rise higher, the entire orchard becomes visible, stretching across the valley floor like a tapestry woven from moonlight and dreams. The ancient tree at its heart glows with a soft radiance, its great canopy a blessing spread over all the smaller trees around it. Gratitude, Wukong murmurs to the stars, his voice carried away on the night wind. For beauty that asks nothing in return, for lessons learned in silence, for the reminder that joy can be as simple as the perfume of flowers, as gentle as petals falling like snow. The cloud drifts higher, carrying him away from the orchard toward whatever gentle adventures await in the star-painted sky. But the sweetness of the peach blossoms lingers in the air around him, and the wisdom of the ancient tree settles into his heart like seeds planted in fertile ground. Below, the orchard sleeps in peaceful contentment, its 10,000 blossoms breathing slowly in rhythm with the sleeping earth, keeping vigil until dawn comes to paint them gold and pink with morning light. The cloud carries Wukong higher into the star-studded darkness, leaving the peach orchard to its peaceful slumber far below. The night air grows cooler as they rise, crisp and clean, filled with the promise of hidden wonders yet to be discovered. Above them, the moon has grown brighter, casting silver pathways across the drifting clouds. Breathe slowly, feel the cool night air filling your lungs with peace. Listen, Wukong whispers, his golden ears pricked forward. Do you hear that? The sound of water singing to the stones. Far below, almost at the edge of hearing, comes the gentle murmur of a river winding its way through the mountain valleys. The sound is soft as a lullaby, constant as breathing, peaceful as the rhythm of a sleeping heart. The cloud begins another gentle descent, following the silver thread of water as it winds between hills clothed in bamboo and pine. The river grows wider as they descend, its surface dark as polished obsidian, reflecting the stars like scattered jewels. Mist rises from the water in delicate spirals, A structure emerges from the mist, like something from a dream. An ancient stone bridge arcs gracefully across the water, its weathered stones glowing pale silver in the moonlight. The bridge is old beyond memory, its stones worn, smooth by countless seasons of rain and wind, yet it stands strong and steady, a testament to patient craftsmanship. Let your shoulders drop. Feel them settling away from your neck like silk sliding from marble. But what makes the bridge truly magical are the lanterns. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands, float gently above and around the ancient span. Some drift close to the water's surface, their warm golden light creating pools of amber on the dark river. Others rise higher, dancing among the low-hanging mist like fireflies made of dreams. The lanterns are not all the same. Some are round as full moons, painted with delicate scenes of cranes and lotus flowers. Others are shaped like teardrops, their silk sides rippling gently in the night breeze. A few are carved from translucent stone, their inner flames creating patterns of light and shadow that shift like living calligraphy. Wukong's cloud settles at the near end of the bridge with the gentleness of a feather coming to rest. He stepped onto the worn stone, his bare feet silent against the ancient surface. Each stone beneath his feet seems to hold memories of all the travellers who have crossed here before. Pilgrims seeking wisdom, lovers meeting in secret, wanderers following the call of distant mountains. This bridge, he murmurs, his voice barely disturbing the sacred quiet, has carried many across the water of change. Tonight, it will carry us across the river of worry, from the shore of restlessness to the island of peace. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, in and out, like the gentle lapping of water against stone. The first lantern floats within arm's reach, a perfect sphere of warm orange silk painted with bamboo branches that seem to sway in its inner light. Wukong approaches it slowly, reverently, and breathes in the faint scent of jasmine oil that feeds its flame. The lantern pulses gently, like a heart made of light, its glow warming his golden fur. Each light carries a wish. He whispers to the night, a hope released to find its own way in the darkness. Some carry prayers for healing, others hold dreams of love. Many float with simple gratitude for the gift of another day. He places his palm near the lantern, not touching, but close enough to feel its warmth. The light seems to recognize his gentle presence, glowing slightly brighter before continuing its slow dance above the water. Wukong smiles and moves on, his steps measured and mindful on the ancient stones. The bridge stretches before him, its arc disappearing into the mist that rises from the river below. More lanterns cluster around the centre span, their combined like creating a cathedral of warm radiance. The sound of water flowing beneath the bridge mingles with the almost silent whisper of lantern silk moving in the breeze. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the golden light of the lantern soothe them. Closed, halfway across the bridge, Wukong pauses. Here, the stone railing is worn smooth by the hands of countless travellers who have stopped to make their wishes, to cast their hopes into the flowing water below. He rests his hands on the ancient stone and looks down at the river, its dark surface broken by gentle ripples that catch and scatter the lantern light. A particularly large lantern drifts close to the bridge, this one shaped like a lotus blossom with petals of translucent pink silk. Inside, the flame burns steady and pure, its light filtering through the petals to paint everything nearby in the softest rose gold. As it passes beneath the bridge, its reflection merges with the real lantern, creating a moment of perfect symmetries on the water's surface. Reflection. Wukong breathes, watching the doubled image drift slowly downstream. The lantern above seeks the sky. The lantern below embraces the depths. Both are real. Both are beautiful. Both are part of the same light. The river whispers its agreement, a sound like silk brushing against silk, soft and continuous and deeply soothing. Small fish rise occasionally to kiss the surface, their movements creating expanding rings of silver that catch the lantern light and carry it outward in gentle waves. Imagine a warm night breeze carrying the scent of jasmine and river mist, washing all tension from your body. From the bamboo groves on either side of the river comes the gentle percussion of stems, touching stems, a natural wind chime that plays in harmony with the water's song. The bamboo grows thick and tall, creating walls of green that fade into mysterious darkness beyond the reach of the lantern light. Sometimes, between the stems, Wukong catches glimpses of other small lights, fireflies blinking their ancient code, or perhaps the eyes of gentle creatures watching the peaceful scene. A night heron stands motionless in the shallows near the sea bridge, its grey form nearly invisible against the dark water. Only the lantern light reveals its presence, painting its feathers with touches of gold and amber. The bird shows no fear as Wukong passes overhead, merely turns its head slightly to acknowledge his presence before returning to its patient hunting. Even the heron knows, Wukong murmurs, that the best things come to those who wait, that patience is not emptiness, but fullness, not the absence of action, but the presence of perfect timing. The bird dips its beak into the water, creating tiny ripples that spread outward in perfect circles, each one catching a fragment of lantern light and carrying it away like liquid gold. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift deeper into peace. As Wukong continues across the bridge, more lanterns gather around him, drawn perhaps by his gentle presence, or simply following the mysterious currents of the night air. They create a constellation of warm light that moves with him, a travelling sanctuary of peace and beauty. One lantern, smaller than the others and painted with tiny silver stars, drifts so close that he can hear the soft flicker of its flame. The light within dances and wavers, not from any disturbance, but with the natural rhythm of living fire. He watches it for a long moment, mesmerized by the simple miracle of flame transforming oil into light, darkness into beauty, silence into the warm whisper of burning. Fire, he whispers, his breath barely disturbing the lantern's glow. The first gift, light in darkness, warmth in cold, the heart that beats in every home, every temple, every hope. The small lantern bobs gently, as if nodding in agreement, before drifting away to join its companions in their eternal dance above the water. The bridge stones beneath his feet tell their own story with each step. Here, a stone worn into a gentle depression by the passage of countless feet. There, ancient marks carved by stonemasons, whose names are lost to time but whose craftsmanship endures. Some stones are darker than others, stained perhaps by tea, spilled by travellers sharing a quiet meal, or by tears of joy shed by lovers reunited after long separation. Let the quiet carry you deeper into rest, deeper into the peace of floating lanterns and flowing water. Near the far end of the bridge, Wukong discovers something wonderful. A small alcove has been carved into the stone railing, just large, enough to hold a few offerings. Inside, he finds simple gifts left by travellers, a few coins darkened by weather, a small jade figurine of a crane, a piece of silk tied with careful love around a bundle of dried flowers. But most touching of all is a child's drawing, protected from the elements by a piece of bamboo bark. The picture shows the bridge surrounded by floating lanterns, drawn with the confident joy that only children possess. Stick figures stand on the bridge with their arms raised in celebration, and overhead a smiling sun shares the sky with a crescent moon. The artist understood, Wukong says softly, studying the simple drawing, that day and night can dance together, that bridges are not just for crossing water, but for connecting hearts, that the most important journeys happen not when we move our feet, but when we open our spirits to wonder. He touches the edge of the drawing gently, sending a silent blessing to the unknown child who created it, wherever they might be sleeping this peaceful night. Feel the earth holding you, solid and eternal beneath the flowing river of time. The end of the bridge approaches, marked by ancient stone lions weathered smooth by centuries of rain and wind. The lions sit in peaceful repose, eyes gazing serenely across the water they have guarded for so long. Moss grows in the carved folds of their manes, and small flowers have taken root in crevices between their toes, making them seem more like garden sculptures than fierce guardians. Wukong pauses to bow respectfully to each lion, pressing his palms together in gratitude. "Thank you, faithful guardians," he whispers, "for watching over all who cross this bridge, for standing patient vigil through storm and calm, for teaching us that true strength is in stillness, true power in peace." One of the lions seems to smile slightly, though perhaps it is only a trick of the lantern light playing across the worn stone features. A small bird has made its nest between the lion's ears, adding the soft sound of sleepy chirping to the bridge's nighttime symphony. As Wukong steps off the bridge onto the far shore, he turns back for one last look. The ancient span stretches across the dark water like a bridge of dreams, its stones glowing silver in the moonlight, its guardian lanterns dancing their eternal dance of light and shadow. The river flows beneath it with the patience of centuries, carrying the reflected light downstream to distant shores. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, each breath a small crossing from one moment to the next. His cloud awaits him at the bridge's end, patient as always, ready to carry him onward to whatever gentle adventures the night may hold. As he settles into its soft embrace, more lanterns drift close, as if reluctant to let him go. They surround the cloud in a constellation of warm light, creating a travelling sanctuary that glows against the star-filled darkness. Gratitude, Wukong whispers to the night, his words carried away on the river-scented breeze. For bridges that carry us safely across the waters of change, for lights that dance without being asked, simply because beauty is its own reward, for the reminder that even in darkness there is always light. We need only learn to see it. The cloud begins to rise, carrying him up and away from the bridge and its guardian lanterns. But the warm glow remains in his heart, and the sound of water singing to stones follows them into the star-painted sky. A lullaby that speaks of patience, of peace, of the gentle crossing from restlessness to rest. Below, the bridge settles back into its ancient quiet, its lanterns continuing their eternal dance above the flowing water, waiting to guide the next traveller across the river of dreams toward whatever peaceful shores await in the misty distance. The cloud carries Wukong higher and higher into the star-filled night, leaving the bridge and its dancing lanterns far below like a constellation of warm memories. The air grows thinner and cooler as they rise, filled with the pure clarity that exists only in the highest reaches of the sky, where the boundary between earth and heaven becomes as soft as morning mist. breathe slowly. Feel the clean mountain air filling your lungs with crystal peace. As they climb through layers of cloud and starlight, the world below transforms into something from the most peaceful dreams. Mountain peaks pierce through banks of silver cloud like islands in a luminous sea. The moon, now directly overhead, paints everything in shades of pearl and platinum, turning the cloudscape into a vast garden of light and shadow that shifts gently with each breath of celestial wind. We climb now toward a place the few mortals see. Wukong whispers, his voice barely audible above the soft whisper of wind through a cloud. A garden that exists between earth and heaven, where the celestial realm touches the world of dreams. Here, time moves like honey poured from a jade pitcher. Here peace grows like flowers in eternal spring. The cloud levels out, following what seems to be an invisible pathway through the sky marked only by the gentle glow of starlight and the sweet scent of jasmine that has no earthly source. Other clouds drift nearby, some carrying their own soft cargo of moonbeams, others glowing from within with their own mysterious radiance that pulses like gentle heartbeats made of light. Ahead, emerging from the silver mist, like a vision crafted from the most serene thoughts ever dreamed, appears a garden unlike any that grows on mortal soil. It floats freely among the clouds, suspended by nothing more than the pure intention of beauty and tranquility. Ancient trees with silver bark and leaves that shimmer like captured starlight rise from islands of the softest grass ever grown. Let your shoulders drop. Feel them melting away like morning frost, touched by gentle sunlight. The garden is vast, beyond imagining, spreading across multiple cloud islands, connected by bridges of crystallized moonlight that arc gracefully through the luminous air. Each island holds its own particular magic. Here, a grove of trees whose flowers sing soft lullabies when touched by the night breeze. There, a pond so still and clear it seems to hold liquid starlight instead of water. Beyond, terraces where luminous moss grows in patterns that spell out forgotten poems of peace. Wukong's cloud settles gently at the edge of the first island, coming to rest beside a shore of the finest white sand that sparkles like crushed pearls. Each grain seems to hold its own tiny spark of celestial light, creating gentle patterns of luminescence wherever his feet will touch. The sand is warm, heated not by any sun, but by the concentrated serenity of countless souls who have found rest here. Welcome to the garden above the clouds, he murmurs, his voice filled with quiet reverence as he steps onto the glowing sand. Here, the trees grow not from earth, but from the concentrated essence of tranquility. The flowers bloom not with seasons, but with the rhythm of of celestial breathing. Everything here exists for one purpose only: to remind us what perfect peace looks like when given form. A path of smooth stones leads from the shore into the garden proper, each stone glowing softly from within with its own gentle radiance. The stones are warm beneath his bare feet, heated not by fire, but by the accumulated footsteps of all the peaceful souls who have walked this path before him. Some stones pulse with soft blue light like captured pieces of twilight sky, others with gentle gold like liquid sunshine, still others with the palest green of new jade touched by moonlight. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, in and out, like the gentle tide of light that flows through this celestial garden. As Wukong follows the glowing path, the garden reveals its wonders slowly, like a scroll being unrolled by patient, invisible hands that know the value of savouring each moment of beauty. Trees unlike any on earth grow here. Their trunks twist gently skyward in perfect spirals, their silver barks smooth as polished jade and warm to the touch like living metal blessed by starlight. Their leaves are translucent, showing delicate veins that pulse with soft light in rhythm with some cosmic heartbeat that underlies all existence. The veins carry not sap, but liquid luminescence, creating patterns that shift and flow like aurora captured in leaf form. When the celestial breeze touches them, they whisper secrets in languages older than words. From their branches hang not fruit, but small crystals that chime softly in the breeze, creating music so beautiful it seems to wash worry from the very air. The crystals are all different shapes and colours, some clear as mountain water and perfectly round, others angular like frozen lightning, still others shaped like teardrops of pure light. Each one rings with its own perfect note, and together they create harmonies that make the heart expand with inexplicable joy. One crystal, shaped like a delicate lotus blossom and glowing with inner fire, drifts close enough for Wukong to cup gently in his palm. It's warm and weightless, pulsing with inner radiance that seems to respond to his touch. When he breathes on it softly, it rings with a note so pure and sweet, it seems to bypass his ears entirely and resonate directly in his soul. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the soft crystal chimes lull you deeper into the embrace of peace. Music, he whispers, watching the crystal float back to its branch like a luminous butterfly returning to its favourite flower. The language that speaks directly to the soul without need for translation. Here, even the silence sings, and every breath becomes a prayer of gratitude for the simple gift of existence. The path leads him deeper into the garden, through groves where the grass beneath his feet glows with soft bioluminescence. tiny star at its tip that twinkles when disturbed. Flowers unlike any earthly blooms nod gently in the celestial breeze, some shaped like bells that ring with the sound of distant temple chimes, others like cups that overflow with liquid moonlight that never spills but hangs in the air like suspended dewdrops. Strange and wonderful creatures move peacefully through this paradise. Butterflies made of living light flutter between the luminous blossoms, their wings trailing streams of stardust. Small deer with silver coats and eyes like pools of liquid peace graze on the glowing grass, unafraid and radiating the same deep calm that permeates everything in this sacred space. The air itself seems alive with concentrated tranquility, thick with the essence of countless prayers answered, countless worries dissolved, countless hearts that have found their way home to stillness. Every breath fills him, not just with air, but with the accumulated peace of ages, the distilled serenity of every soul that has ever found true rest. Imagine a warm night breeze, carrying the scent of celestial flowers and the whispered secrets of starlight born at the beginning of time. The path leads him to a clearing where the most magnificent tree in the garden stands in solitary splendor. This is no ordinary tree, but something that seems to have grown from the concentrated dreams of everyone who has ever wished for perfect peace. Its trunk is so vast that Wukong cannot see where it ends, disappearing upward through layers of cloud until it merges with the constellations themselves, becoming part of the very structure of the night sky. Its roots, visible above the luminous grass, spread out in graceful curves that create natural seats and meditation areas. The bark is not silver like the other trees, but seems to contain all colours and no colour at the same time, shifting gently between deep forest green and warm honey gold and the soft blue of twilight sky reflected in perfectly still water. This great tree bears not leaves but flowers, enormous blossoms that glow with their own inner light, each one large enough to shelter a person in meditation beneath its gentle radiance. The flowers are every colour imaginable, and some that have no earthly names. The colour of perfect contentment, the hue of a mother's lullaby sung in the depths of night, the shade of the first peaceful breath after a long worry finally dissolves into understanding. Beneath this tree, in a clearing carpeted with grass, so soft it feels like silk woven from moonbeams, stands something that makes Wukong's heart fill with quiet wonder. A simple pavilion made of what looks like crystallized moonlight rises from the luminous ground, its pillars so clear they seem made of solid air, its roof a dome of pure transparency that holds the starlight without blocking its gentle passage to the earth below. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let Let yourself drift deeper into the peace that surrounds this most sacred space. Within the pavilion, figures move with the unhurried grace of those who have found perfect peace and see no reason to disturb it with unnecessary haste. These are the attendants of the garden. Being so serene, they seem more like living embodiments of tranquility than individual souls walking separate paths through existence. They wear robes that flow like liquid starlight, catching and reflecting the garden's gentle radiance while adding their own subtle glow to the scene. The fabric seems woven from moonbeams and mist, moving with each breath as if it were alive and breathing with its wearer. Their faces hold the deep calm of mountain lakes at dawn, untouched by any wind, reflecting only sky and peace. Their movements are so graceful, they seem more like a meditation made visible than ordinary walking. Each step is deliberate and mindful, as if they understand that every movement is a prayer, every gesture a blessing offered to the universe. They carry themselves with the dignity of those who know their true nature and see no need to be anything other than what they already are. One of the attendants approaches Wukong as he draws near the pavilion, her steps so light they barely disturb the glowing grass. Her approach is unhurried, each movement flowing naturally from the one before, as if she has all the time in the universe and sees no reason to waste even a moment of it on anything less than perfect presence. Her eyes hold depths like peaceful pools reflecting infinite sky, and her smile is soft as moonlight on still water. There is something familiar about her peace, as if she represents not a stranger, but the deepest, most calm part of his own soul made visible. Let the quiet carry you deeper into rest, deeper into the rhythm of celestial time where each moment contains eternity. Welcome, son Wukong, she says, though her lips barely move, and the words seem to bloom directly in his heart like flowers opening to moonlight. We have been expecting you. The garden has been preparing for your visit since the first star lit the evening sky. Every flower that has bloomed tonight has bloomed in anticipation of sharing its peace with your gentle heart. Her words carry no urgency, no sense of time passing or tasks that must be completed. Here, Wukong realizes with growing wonder, there is no rushing, no hurry, no sense that anything needs to be other than exactly what it is in this perfect, eternal moment. Even speaking seems to happen at exactly the right pace. Each word given time to settle into the listener's heart before the next one unfolds like a petal opening in slow motion. I bring gratitude, Wukong replies, his voice naturally dropping to match the gentle cadence of this place, bowing deeply in recognition of the profound peace he feels settling into his bones, for this sanctuary that exists beyond the reach of worry or want. for the reminder that heaven is not a distant destination we must earn through struggle, but a state of being we can remember in any moment, for showing me that paradise exists wherever hearts learn to be truly still. The attendant's smile deepens, like moonlight brightening on calm water touched by the gentlest breeze. Gratitude is the master key that opens all doors, she says, her voice carrying the wisdom of countless peaceful dawns. It transforms what we have into enough, what we are into perfect, what we experience into blessing. Come, she gestures toward the pavilion where other figures sit in quiet meditation or move through what appears to be a form of dancing so gentle it resembles the natural swaying of flowers in a soft breeze, or the way grass moves in wind so gentle it can barely be felt. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Let each inhalation bring you deeper into the garden's eternal embrace. Rest with us, she continues, her invitation carrying the warmth of coming home after a long, difficult journey through landscapes of noise and hurry. Learn what we have learned about the art of being perfectly present, about finding the infinite contained within each moment, about discovering that peace is not something we must create or achieve, but something we can simply remember and return to. Inside the pavilion, the very air seems infused with concentrated tranquility, thick with the essence of deep meditation and profound contentment. The cushions made of cloud silk invite rest, their surfaces so soft they seem to support the body while allowing it to float in perfect comfort. They are warm to the touch, holding the accumulated peace of all who have rested here before. The floor beneath is neither stone nor wood, but something that feels alive with gentle warmth, pulsing almost imperceptibly with the same rhythm as the great tree's luminous flowers. It gives slightly underfoot, like walking on the most supportive moss, while somehow conveying the stability of bedrock underneath. At the centre of the pavilion, a fountain sends up streams, not of water, but of liquid light that arcs gracefully through the air in perfect spirals, before falling back into a pool that reflects not the viewer's physical form, but their deepest, most peaceful essence. The light makes no sound as it flows, but its movement creates a visual music that seems to synchronize with the heartbeat of anyone who watches it. Feel the earth holding you, though here it is the very cosmos itself that cradles you in infinite tenderness and unconditional love. Wukong settles onto one of the cushions, feeling his body sink into comfort so complete it seems to erase every tension he has ever carried, every worry he has ever held, every restless urge that has ever driven him forward through the world. The cushion molds itself perfectly to support him, while somehow making him feel weightless, as if he is floating on a cloud within a cloud, within an endless sky of perfect peace. Around him, the other attendants continue their slow, meditative movements. Some sit in silent contemplation, their faces serene as carved jade, their breathing so natural and gentle it seems to be part of the garden's own rhythm. Others move through flowing sequences that might be dance or might be prayer, or might be some perfect fusion of both, each movement arising spontaneously from the deep stillness within. All of their actions seem to spring from the same deep well of peace, like ripples on a pond so calm that even the ripples are peaceful, adding to, rather than disturbing, the perfect tranquility of the surface. "Tell me," Wukong asked softly, his words barely disturbing the luminous quiet that fills the pavilion, like honey fills a jar. "What is the secret of such perfect calm? How does one learn to move through existence with such effortless grace? What wisdom allows you to be so completely present in each moment that time itself seems to bow to your serenity?" The attendant who welcomed him settles nearby, her robes arranging themselves around her like petals around the heart of a celestial flower. Her breathing is so natural and gentle, it seems to be part of the garden's own rhythm. And as she breathes, the flowers on the great tree pulse gently in harmony with her breath. "The secret," she says, her voice carrying the accumulated wisdom of countless peaceful dawns, "is simpler than the mind believes, and deeper than the heart imagines. It lives in the breath, not in controlling it or changing it, but in simply witnessing it with the same gentle attention we might give to a beloved friend sharing their deepest truth." She demonstrates, her breathing so quiet and natural that it takes him a moment to recognize that she is teaching through example rather than words. As she breathes, the entire garden seems to breathe with her. The crystal chimes sing softly on her exhalation. The luminous flowers brighten slightly with each inhalation. Even the liquid light in the fountain seems to pulse in rhythm with her gentle breathing. Breathe slowly. Feel yourself becoming part of the garden's own peaceful rhythm, part of the cosmic breathing that connects all things in perfect harmony. When we breathe with complete awareness, she continues, we join the cosmic rhythm that underlies all existence. Our small breath becomes part of the great breathing of the universe. The garden breathes, the stars breathe, the spaces between thoughts breathe. All is connected in this gentle rising and falling, this eternal dance of giving and receiving. Wukong closes his eyes and begins to match his breathing to hers, feeling immediately how different this is from his usual way of moving through the world. There is no effort here, no trying to achieve any particular state or goal. There is only an opening, an allowing, a gentle participation in the great dance of existence that has been going on since the first first star drew its first breath of light. As he settles into this rhythm, he becomes aware of the garden breathing around him and with him. The enormous flowers on the great tree expand and contract ever so slightly with each shared breath. The crystal chimes ring softly on each collective exhale, their music becoming part of the breathing itself. Even the light seems to pulse gently, growing slightly brighter with each communal inhalation, settling into perfect calm with each synchronized release. Time moves differently here, if it moves at all. Wukong might sit breathing with the garden for moments or hours. There is no way to tell, and no need to know. The only time that matters is the eternal now of each breath, each heartbeat, each gentle pulse of light through the garden's luminous flowers and crystalline chimes. Other attendants move through the pavilion like living poetry, some carrying vessels that release not smoke but visible peace, gentle spirals of light that rise and dissipate into the luminous air, adding their own subtle fragrance to the already perfect atmosphere. Others tend to small gardens within the garden, caring for flowers that bloom not with ordinary petals, but with crystallized moments of pure joy, each blossom a captured instant of perfect contentment. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, each breath a small miracle, each moment a gift beyond measure. One attendant approaches with a cup made from what appears to be a single large pearl, its surface smooth and lustrous, glowing with inner light. Inside the cup is not liquid, but what looks like liquid starlight, gentle and silver and faintly warm, swirling with patterns that seem to contain whole galaxies in miniature. Drink, she offers gently, extending the cup with movements so graceful they seem choreographed by the universe itself. This is the nectar of stillness, distilled from the first moment of perfect peace that ever was, concentrated from the essence of every prayer ever answered, every heart that has found its way home to rest. Wukong accepts the cup with both hands, feeling its smooth warmth against his palms, sensing the profound care with which this gift is offered. The liquid starlight has no taste in any earthly sense, but as it touches his lips, he feels a deep sense of coming home, of arriving at a place he has been seeking all his life without knowing it existed. As the nectar flows through him, Wukong feels something shift in his very being, as if long-held tensions he didn't even know he carried are dissolving like morning mist touched by sunlight. The quiet urgency that has driven him through so many adventures settles into perfect stillness. He is not losing himself, but finding himself, not becoming less, but discovering what less really means. Not emptiness, but fullness, so complete it appears as the most elegant simplicity. This is the gift garden, the first attendant, says, though she might be speaking to him or to the flowers or to the night itself, not to change us, but to reveal what we have always been beneath the layers of doing and wanting and fearing. Here we remember that our true nature is peace itself, that what we seek outside already lives within, that home is not a place we go to, but a recognition of what we have never actually left. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the celestial lullaby carry you into the deepest rest your soul has ever known, the peace that was always waiting within. The cloud drifts away from the celestial garden, carrying Wukong gently downward through layers of starlit mist. The memory of perfect peace still glows warm in his heart, like a candle flame that continues to give light long after it has been lit. The nectar of stillness flows through his spirit like liquid moonlight, leaving him changed in ways too deep for words. Breathe slowly. Feel the mountain air filling your lungs with ancient wisdom. Below them, the landscape transforms from the soft curves of hills to the more dramatic silhouettes of true mountains. These are old peaks, worn smooth by countless centuries of wind and weather, their faces carved into gentle slopes where twisted pines cling to rocky outcroppings with the patience of meditation masters. In the moonlight, they look like sleeping giants, their stone shoulders draped with silver mist that rises and falls like the breathing of the earth itself. We descend now to a different kind of temple. Wukong murmurs, his voice soft as the whisper of wind through pine needles. Not built by human hands, but shaped by time itself with the infinite patience of geological seasons. Here, the mountain will teach us what it has learned in its long, silent watching. Here, we will discover that the greatest strength comes not from moving mountains, but from becoming as stable and generous as stone. The cloud settles on a broad ledge halfway up one of the ancient peaks, a natural platform carpeted with soft moss that glows faintly silver in the moonlight. Ancient pine trees grow from crevices in the rock, their branches twisted into graceful shapes by years of wind, their needles whispering secrets to the night air in voices so soft they can only be heard by hearts that have learned to be still. Wukong steps from the cloud onto the moss-covered stone, feeling the mountain's solid presence beneath his feet. This is different from the floating serenity of the celestial garden. Here is earthbound peace, the deep calm that comes from being rooted in something eternal and unchanging, something that has witnessed the birth and death of stars while remaining fundamentally itself. Let your shoulders drop. Feel them settling like stones finding their perfect place in a mountain stream. The ledge overlooks a vast valley filled with silver mist, where other peaks rise like islands in a sea of cloud that stretches to the horizon. the sky paints everything in shades of pearl and shadow, creating a landscape that seems to exist between waking and dreaming. Far below, barely visible through the mist, a stream winds between the mountains. Its presence felt more than seen, a ribbon of sound threading through the profound silence. Wukong settles cross-legged on the soft moss, his back against the weathered trunk of an ancient pine. The tree welcomes him with the steady presence of something that has weathered countless storms and found peace in simply enduring. Its bark is warm against his back, holding decades of stored sunlight in its woody heart, radiating the accumulated patience of years spent growing slowly toward the sky. Mountain, he whispers to the stone beneath him, his voice barely disturbing the sacred quiet. Teach me your patience. Show me how you hold the sky without effort, how you wear the seasons, like changing clothes while never losing your essential nature. Help me understand the strength that needs no demonstration, the power that rests in perfect stillness, the wisdom that speaks without words. The mountain responds not with words but with presence, the deep, abiding calm of something that has watched the world change while remaining fundamentally unchanged. Wukong feels in his bones this ancient peace that asks nothing of him and offers everything. This solid serenity that has been waiting for him all his life without needing him to arrive. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, in and out like the mountain, breathing with the slow pulse of geological time. A gentle wind rises from the valley, carrying with it the scent of pine resin and night-blooming flowers hidden in secret meadows that have never known human footsteps. The wind speaks in whispers as it moves through the twisted branches above, telling stories of all the seasons it has witnessed, all the storms it has weathered, all the quiet dawns it has blessed with its gentle touch. The pine needles above rustle softly, creating a sound like rain falling on silk, or like thousands of tiny bells made of green light ringing in harmony. Each needle catches moonlight and holds it for a moment before releasing it to dance with its neighbours, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow that flow across the moss like slow water. The tree sways slightly in the wind, not fighting the movement but flowing with it, demonstrating the art of strength through flexibility. Its roots, unseen beneath the stone, hold firm while its branches dance, showing Wukong the secret of being both grounded and free, both stable and responsive to the moment's call. Listen, Wukong breathes, closing his eyes to better hear the mountain's lesson carried on the night wind. The tree does not resist the wind, but dances with it, finding strength in yielding. The stone does not fight the rain, but lets it carve new beauty from ancient faces. Even the mightiest peaks know when to bend, when to let the elements shape them into something even more perfect than before. From somewhere far below comes the soft hoot of an owl, its voice echoing off the stone walls of the valley like a question asked of the night itself. The sound is answered by another owl from a distant peak, and then another, until the darkness is filled with a gentle chorus of calls and responses, a conversation carried across vast distances by creatures who understand. That connection transcends space. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the mountain's ancient stillness settle into your bones, like moonlight settling on stone. The owls speak to each other across the vastness, their voices carrying messages of companionship through the darkness, proving that even in solitude there can be communion, even in silence there can be conversation. Their calls seem to say, I am here, you are there, we share this same night, this same moon, this same ancient peace that holds us both. A small movement catches his attention. A mountain goat picking its way carefully along a narrow ledge far below, its white coat glowing in the moonlight like a spirit made visible. The goat moves with perfect confidence, each step placed with absolute precision on stone that seems too narrow to support anything larger than a bird or a prayer. Yet it navigates the treacherous path with the grace of one who trusts completely in its own careful attention, never rushing, never hesitating, each movement flowing naturally from deep awareness of exactly where it is and where it needs to be. The goat pauses occasionally, not from uncertainty, but from the wisdom of taking time to appreciate each moment of the journey. Even the goat understands. Wukong murmurs, watching the creature disappear into shadows between two peaks, that the secret is not to conquer the mountain, but to move with it, to find the path that the mountain offers, rather than forcing a may path where none exists. Patience and attention, these are the tools that open even the most difficult ways. Imagine a warm night breeze, carrying the wisdom of stone and the patience of centuries, washing all urgency from your spirit like water washing dust from leaves. The wind shifts slightly, bringing new scents and sounds from different corners of the mountain's vast presence. From a hidden meadow comes the faint perfume of alpine flowers that bloom only in the brief mountain summer, their sweetness concentrated by the thin air and intensified by their rarity. From a distant glacier comes the almost inaudible tinkle of meltwater beginning its long journey to the sea, each drop carrying stories of snow and ice and patient transformation. Each scent, each sound tells part of the mountain's vast story, a narrative written in stone and wind, in the slow dance of seasons and the patient work of weather. Wukong breathes it all in, feeling himself becoming part of this ancient conversation between stone and sky. darkness and movement, between the permanence of the peaks and the constant change of weather and season flowing around them like a river of time. In the distance, barely visible through the silver mist, he can see the lights of a small monastery tucked into a fold of the mountain, its windows glowing warmly against the stone. The monks there are probably deep in midnight meditation, adding their prayers to the mountain's silence, their stillness to its ancient peace. A shooting star streaks across the sky above, its brief light reflecting off the snow-covered peaks in the distance, like a message written in fire across the dome of night. The star burns bright for just a moment before fading into darkness, but its passage seems to awaken something in the mountains themselves. The snow on the distant peaks catches and holds the starlight, glowing softly long after the meteor has vanished into memory. Float like a leaf on calm water. Let yourself drift deeper into the mountain's teaching of patient endurance. Even stars learn from mountains. Wukong whispers to the night, his words so soft they barely disturb the air between his lips and the listening darkness. They burn, bright and brief, like moments of inspiration or flashes of understanding. But the mountains remember their light, hold it in ice and snow, reflect it back to the sky for hours after the star itself has turned to cosmic dust. This is the mountain's gift. To remember, to hold, to reflect beauty long after its source has passed. The pine tree above him sighs gently in the wind, and a few needles drift down to land on his golden fur like blessings falling from the sky. Each needle is perfect in its simple design, shaped by millions of years of adaptation to wind and weather, snow and drought. He picks up one of the fallen needles, feeling its waxy surface, its sharp point designed to shed snow, its deep green colour that catches and holds every precious photon of mountain sunlight. From the needle comes the faint scent of resin, the tree's response to wounds and weather. This sticky sap protects and heals, sealing damage and preventing infection. Even in this simple defense, Wukong sees wisdom. The way the tree responds to harm, not with retaliation, but with healing, not with hardness, but with protective softness that flows like liquid amber from its wounded heart. He rolls the needle between his fingers, marveling at its perfect simplicity, its humble efficiency. No artist could design anything more elegant. No engineer could create anything more perfectly suited to its purpose. The needle teaches him that beauty lies not in complexity, but in perfect adaptation to one's true nature and purpose. Hours pass, or perhaps only minutes. Time moves differently here, measured not by the ticking of clocks, but by the slow shift of shadows and the gradual arc of the moon across the star-filled sky. Wukong sits in perfect stillness, learning the mountain dance itself is a form of meditation, that simply being fully here is the greatest practice, the most profound prayer. Let the quiet carry you deeper into rest, deeper into the profound peace that asks nothing and gives everything. His breathing gradually slows to match the mountain's rhythm, the slow expansion and contraction of stone with temperature changes, the patient inhale and exhale of wind through valleys and peaks, the eternal breathing of the earth itself as it moves through space around the sun, like a vast meditation bell ringing in the cosmic silence. In this stillness, he begins to hear sounds usually lost beneath the noise of motion and thinking. The almost inaudible whisper of moss growing on stone, adding green softness to grey hardness, one tiny cell at a time. The minute crackling of frost forming in shadowed crevices where the sun never reaches, the distant conversation of streams choosing their paths down the mountainside, each drop of water finding its own perfect route to lower ground. A night blooming cereus, hidden somewhere in the rocks, opens its flower, releasing perfume so subtle it can only be detected by one who sits in perfect stillness. The fragrance comes in gentle waves, carried by air currents so slight they can barely be felt, a reminder that the most precious gifts are often the most delicate, requiring perfect attention to receive. The flower will bloom for only one night, spending months preparing for this single moment of beauty, then closing forever as the sun rises. Yet its brief perfection is no less valuable for being temporary. If anything, its fleeting nature makes it more precious, like a whispered secret that can only be heard once. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, each exhalation releasing the need to be anything other than what you naturally are. Humility. Wukong breathes, the word arising from deep understanding rather than thought, flowing up from some well of wisdom that has been waiting within him all along. This is what the mountain teaches, not the humility that diminishes, but the humility that recognizes our proper place in the vast web of existence, the humility that finds strength in service, beauty in simplicity. He thinks of all his past adventures, all the times he felt compelled to prove his power, to demonstrate his abilities, to make his presence known through action and display. How small those achievements seem now, compared to the quiet majesty of stone that has stood unchanged while empires rose and fell, while forests grew and burned and grew again, while the very stars wheeled overhead in their ancient dance. Thou sea, mountain's patience suddenly seems more impressive than any feat of strength. Its ability to support life without demanding recognition, to provide stability without asking for gratitude, to offer its slopes and valleys as home to countless creatures while remaining fundamentally itself. This strikes him as the deepest power of all, the kind of strength that builds worlds rather than conquering them. A cloud drifts across the moon, casting everything into deeper shadow for a moment, but the mountain's presence remains unchanged, felt rather than seen, a solid reality that needs no light to confirm its existence. When the cloud passes and moonlight returns, the peaks shine with renewed beauty, as if the brief darkness has somehow made their light more precious, their presence more profound. In the restored moonlight, Wukong notices details he had missed before. The way the moss on the tree trunk forms intricate patterns, like script written by wind and time. The way tiny flowers have found footing in impossible cracks in the stone, blooming in secret places where only the moon can see them. The way every surface holds dewdrops like scattered diamonds, each one perfect in its roundness, each one reflecting the whole sky in miniature. Feel the earth holding you, solid and eternal, asking nothing of you but your presence, giving you everything you need for perfect peace. In the distance, barely audible, comes the sound of temple bells from the monastery. Hidden among the peaks, the bells ring slowly, marking not hours but moments of mindfulness, calling anyone who hears them to remember the present moment, to return attention to the simple miracle of being alive and aware in this vast, beautiful, mysterious existence. The sound echoes off the stone faces of the mountains, creating layers of resonance that seem to go on forever. Each echo is slightly different, coloured by the particular acoustics of the rock it reflects from, creating a symphony of bells where only one originally rang. The sound builds and fades, like waves of bronze and silver washing over the peaks. Even sound learns patience here. Wukong murmurs, listening to the echoes fade gradually into the embracing silence. The mountain teaches it to linger, to resonate, to find new beauty in reflection and repetition. Nothing is rushed here. Every sound, every movement, every breath is given the time it needs to complete itself perfectly, to say everything it came to say. The air grows slightly cooler as the night deepens, and dew begins to form on the pine needles above, each drop a tiny lens that captures and concentrates starlight. The weight of the dew makes the needles droop slightly, and occasionally a drop falls, landing with the softest touch on the moss or on Wukong's fur. A gentle blessing from the sky. As each drop falls, it carries with it the essence of the night, the peace of the stars, the wisdom of the wind, the patience of the trees. Landing on his fur, the dewdrops seem to whisper their message directly into his spirit. Slow down, be present, notice the miracle of this moment that will never come again exactly as it is now. Breathe slowly, Let the mountain's ancient peace settle into your heart like snow settling on peaks, pure and undisturbed. As dawn approaches, still hours away, but somehow sensed by the mountain and all its creatures, the quality of the silence begins to change. It becomes expectant rather than restful, pregnant with the possibility of light. Somewhere in the distance, a bird calls once, testing the darkness, his voice tentative but hopeful. Others will follow as the night slowly gives way to day. But for now, there is only this single note floating in the vast quiet. The mountain seems to hold its breath, waiting for the sun that has risen over its peaks thousands of times before and will rise thousands of times more. There is no impatience in this waiting, no sense that dawn is late or the night too long. There is only the perfect presence of stone and sky, the eternal now of being exactly what one is without need for change or improvement. Wukong feels himself becoming part of this great waiting, not for something to happen, but for the simple continuation of what already is. His breathing syncs with the mountain's ancient rhythm. His heartbeat finds harmony with the slow pulse of geological time. His small presence adds to the vast stillness, like one more stone added to an eternal cairn marking the path to peace. Gratitude, he whispers to the mountain, his words so soft they barely disturb the sacred air between his lips and the listening stone. For teaching me that strength without stillness is just motion, that power without patience is just noise, that the greatest achievements happen not when we move mountains, but when we learn to be as stable and generous as mountains themselves. The mountain accepts his gratitude with the same gracious silence with which it accepts everything else. Wind and rain, snow and sun, the footsteps of countless creatures, the prayers of pilgrims, the changing of seasons and centuries. It asks nothing in return except what Wukong has already given. Simple presence, respectful attention, the willingness to listen to wisdom that speaks in silence. A meteor shower begins. Faint streaks of light painting temporary patterns across the star-filled sky. The shooting stars are brief and beautiful, each one a small celebration in the cosmic darkness. The mountain watches them with the same patient attention it gives to everything else, neither excited by their arrival nor saddened by their passing, simply present to witness their brief dance across the infinite stage of night. Rest in the rhythm of your breath. Let each breath carry you deeper into the heart of peace, deeper into the eternal stillness that was here before you arrived and will remain long after you have returned to dust and starlight. As the meteor shower fades and the stars resume their steady vigil, Wukong feels something complete itself within him, not achieved or accomplished, but simply recognized. The peace that was always there, the stillness that needed no creating, the strength that required no proving. Like the mountain itself, he is learning to simply be, to exist without justification, to offer his presence as a gift to the world without need for acknowledgement or praise. The night holds him in its vast embrace. The mountain supports him with its ancient strength, and the stars watch over him with their patient light. In this moment, he is exactly where he belongs, exactly who he is meant to be, exactly as perfect as the single pine needle still resting in his palm. Simple, elegant, completely itself. Thank you. He breathes to the stone and sky, to the wind and stars, to the great silence that holds all sound, to the profound peace that underlies all movement. For this teaching that can't be learned, but only remembered, this wisdom that lives not in knowing, but in being, this strength that rests not in doing, but in perfect presence. The mountain breathes with him, around him, through him, and for a timeless moment, there is no difference between the golden monkey and the ancient stone, between the seeker and what he seeks, between the student and the teacher. There is only the eternal now of being, pure and simple and complete, like moonlight on stone, like silence filled with stars. Feel your eyes grow heavy. Let the mountain's eternal peace carry you into the deepest rest, where you too can learn the secret of being as patient and generous as stone, as stable and luminous as peaks that hold the sky without effort, without end. The cloud beneath Wukong's feet begins to drift lower, carrying him down from the mountain's quiet heights. Below, a silver ribbon of water winds through the valley, catching moonlight like scattered pearls. The river moves without hurry, whispering secrets to the reeds along its banks. Come, Wukong says softly to himself. Let us learn what the water knows. His cloud settles gently beside the riverbank. Wukong steps onto the soft grass, feeling dewdrops cool beneath his bare feet. The air smells of jasmine and wet earth. Somewhere in the distance, a night bird calls once, then falls silent again. Breathe slowly. Let the river's rhythm match your own breathing. The water flows past, dark and smooth as silk. Tiny fireflies dance above its surface, their light reflecting like fallen stars. Wukong kneels by the water's edge and cups his hands to drink. The water tastes of mountain snow and moonbeams. As he drinks, he notices a small paper boat caught among the reeds. Its red lantern flickers weakly, as if tired from a long journey. Wukong reaches out and gently frees the boat, setting it back on the flowing current. Where are you travelling, little boat? He whispers. The boat bobs once, as if in thanks, then drifts away downstream. Its lantern glows steadier now, casting ripples of warm light on the water. water's surface. An old fisherman sits on the opposite bank, his line cast into the quiet water. His bamboo hat casts shadows over his face, but Wukong can see the gentle smile. There, the fisherman nods across the water, a greeting between strangers in the peaceful night. Let your shoulders drop, feel the water's endless patience. Wukong watches the fisherman's line disappear into the dark water. No fish bite, but the old man seems perfectly content. His breathing is slow and even, matching the river's gentle flow, sometimes the best. Fishing, Wukong thinks, is simply being present by the water. A family of ducks glides past, leaving V-shaped wakes behind them. The smallest duckling struggles to keep up, his tiny webbed feet working harder than the rest. Without thinking, Wukong breathes softly toward the water, creating the gentlest current to help the little one along. The duckling catches up to its family, and they all disappear around a bend where willow branches trail in the water like green silk curtains. Teaching through kindness, Wukong murmurs to the night air, helping without being seen. He rises and begins walking along the riverbank, following a path worn smooth by countless footsteps. Paper lanterns hang from wooden posts every few yards, their soft light guiding night travellers safely along the water's edge. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, like the river's endless song. As he walks, Wukong comes upon a small wooden dock where an elderly woman sits feeding breadcrumbs to the fish. Her movements are slow and deliberate, each crumb dropped with careful attention. The fish gather in grateful circles, their scales flashing silver in the lantern light. Honoured grandmother, Wukong says softly, "May I sit with you?" She looks up and smiles, her eyes twinkling like stars reflected in deep water. Of course, child. The fish always welcome more friends. Wukong sits beside her on the worn wooded boards. She offers him a small portion of breadcrumbs, and together they feed the hungry fish. The water makes gentle sounds as the fish rise to eat, tiny splashes like scattered raindrops on a still pond. I have been feeding them for 60 years, the old woman says. Every night when the moon rises, we meet here by the water. They must know your footsteps, Wukong says. Perhaps. Or perhaps they simply know the rhythm of kindness. She scatters the last crumbs and brushes her hands clean. The river taught me that giving and receiving flow together, like two streams joining into one. Imagine a warm night breeze, carrying away all your worries. The old woman rises slowly, her joints stiff from sitting. Wukong offers his arm to steady her, and she pats his hand gently. Thank you, young Monkey King. The water will teach you its secrets if you listen with your whole heart. She shuffles away into the night, her paper lantern casting a small circle of light that grows smaller and smaller until it disappears entirely. Wukong remains on the dock, watching the fish circle in the spot where the breadcrumbs fell. to other parts of the river, but their presence felt like a blessing on the quiet water. A lotus flower floats past, its white petals glowing in the moonlight. Without thinking, Wukong reaches out to touch it, then pulls his hand back. Some beauty is meant to be witnessed, not possessed. Let the quiet carry you, like a leaf on calm water. He stands and continues along the riverbank. The path curves gently, following the water's natural bends. Bamboo groves rustle softly on either side, their leaves whispering secrets to the night wind. A small temple comes into view, its curved roof decorated with sleeping dragons carved from jade green stone. Soft chanting drifts from within, voices raised in harmony, singing the old songs of gratitude and peace. Wukong pauses at the temple's moon gate, not to enter, but simply to listen. The voices rise and fall like gentle waves, washing over his spirit with their ancient melodies. An old monk appears in the doorway, his robes the colour of dawn clouds. He bows slightly to Wukong, then returns to his evening prayers. No words are needed. Some meetings happen in the space between breath and blessing. Feel your eyes grow heavy, like flower petals closing at dusk. The river curves again, and Wukong finds himself at a small ferry crossing. A wooden boat waits, tied to a simple post with rope woven from lotus stems. No ferryman stands guard. This is a crossing built on trust and honour. Wukong steps into the boat and unties the rope. The current catches the small vessel, guiding it gently across the water. He does not paddle or steer, but lets the river choose the path. Halfway across, he passes another paper boat, this one carrying a tiny cargo of flower petals. Pink cherry blossoms and white jasmine drift on the water like scattered prayers. Wukong smiles and adds a single hair from his head, transformed into a golden lotus petal. His small gift joins the floating garden. On the far shore, he ties the ferry boat securely and places a few copper coins in the wooden box beside the dock. The ferryman may be sleeping, but generosity never rests. Float like a leaf on calm water, safe and peaceful. A night market glows softly in the distance. Paper lanterns strung between bamboo poles like captured stars. The vendors speak in mild, past whispers, selling midnight tea and sweet rice cakes wrapped in lotus leaves. The air smells of jasmine tea and honey. Wukong approaches a tea vendor, an ancient man whose hands move like flowing water as he prepares each cup. Steam rises from the ceramic bowls, carrying the fragrance of mountain herbs and flowers. "One cup of peace, please," Wukong says softly. The tea vendor smiles and prepares a special blend. Chrysanthemum for clarity, mint for cooling, and a single drop of morning dew for purity. He offers it to Wukong with both hands, a gesture of respect and friendship. Wukong drinks slowly, tasting moonlight and mountain mist in every sip. The warmth spreads through his chest like liquid starlight. When he finishes, he places the empty cup gently on the wooden counter. "How much do I owe you, honoured elder?" "Nothing," the tea vendor says. "You paid with presents, you drank with gratitude. That is payment enough. Feel the earth holding you, steady and safe." Wukong bows deeply and continues through the quiet market. A woman sells paper flowers that never wilt, their petals painted with colours that glow softly in the lantern light. A young man offers calligraphy scrolls with poems about rivers and moonlight, each character brushed with infinite patience. At the market's end, Wukong finds a small shrine dedicated to the river dragon. Offerings of fruit and flowers rest on half the altar, gifts from travellers who sought safe passage across the waters. Wukong adds his own offering, a single peach from the celestial orchards, its skin glowing like captured sunlight. He whispers a prayer of thanks for the river's teachings, patience, kindness, and the wisdom of letting go. A gentle breeze stirs the shrine's silk banners, and for a moment, Wukong feels the presence of something vast and benevolent, watching over all who travel by water. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the river's endless patience. His cloud waits patiently by the shrine, its surface glowing soft silver in the moonlight. Wukong climbs aboard and feels it rise gently into the night sky. Below, the river continues its eternal journey toward the sea, carrying paper boats and flower petals, and the dreams of all who dwell beside its banks. As they drift higher, Wukong looks back at the peaceful valley. The temple bells ring once more across the water, their sound carrying blessings to every corner of the night. "Thank you, honoured river," he whispers to the wind. "You have taught me that the strongest current is the gentlest one, and the deepest. Wisdom flows in letting go." The cloud carries him toward the next part of his journey, but the river's lessons remain in his heart like treasured pearls, each one polished smooth by the endless patience of flowing water. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, like the river's endless song. The cloud beneath Wukong rises slowly into the star-filled sky, carrying him away from the peaceful river valley. The night air grows cooler as they climb, and below, the world spreads out like a painted scroll of silver and shadow. Moonlight bathes everything in gentle radiance. Mountains sleep beneath blankets of mist, their peaks crowned with wisps of cloud that drift like silk scarves in the evening breeze. Villages nestle in the valleys, their windows glowing like scattered amber jewels. Breathe slowly. Let the night sky hold you in its vastness. Wukong settles more comfortably on his cloud, feeling its soft surface adapt to his body like the finest silk cushion. The cloud knows his moods now, responding to his thoughts with gentle shifts and subtle changes in direction. They have become companions in this journey through the peaceful night. We have learned much together. Wukong whispers to his cloud, and the mountain taught us stillness. The garden showed us patience. The river shared its wisdom of letting go. The cloud pulses once with soft light, as if agreeing with his words. They drift over a sleeping forest where bamboo groves sway in perfect harmony. Night birds call softly to each other across the treetops, not urgent cries, but gentle conversations between friends. An owl hoots 3 times, low and musical, like notes played on a wooden flute. Let your shoulders drop. Feel yourself floating on peaceful currents. A temple complex appears below. Its pagoda towers, reaching up like fingers touching the stars. Monks move silently through the courtyards, their robes rustling softly as they tend to late-night prayers and meditation. Incense smoke rises in thin columns, carrying the fragrance of sandalwood and lotus blossoms up to where Wukong drifts overhead. He breathes deeply, drawing the sacred smoke into his lungs. It tastes of devotion and quiet mornings, of countless prayers offered in the space between night and dawn. The cloud carries him over a lake where lotus flowers bloom even in darkness, their white petals glowing like small moons floating on the still water. A single fisherman sits in a small boat at the lake's center, but his rod lies untouched beside him. Instead, he gazes up at the stars, counting constellations like old friends. Wukong raises his hand in a gentle wave. The fisherman sees him and nods, a smile crossing his weathered face. Some meetings need no words, just the recognition of 2 souls sharing the same peaceful night. Feel your eyes grow heavy, like flower petals closing at dusk. A village celebration continues quietly below, where paper lanterns hang between houses like captured stars. Families sit in their gardens, sharing late-night tea and telling gentle stories to sleepy children. Grandmothers hum old lullabies while rocking babies under the open sky. The sound of soft laughter drifts upward, mixing with the whisper of wind through leaves. It's the kind of laughter that comes from contentment rather than excitement, warm and golden like honey dissolving in milk. Wukong remembers his own lessons from the evening. In the peach orchard, he learned to savor each moment like sweet fruit on his tongue. At the bridge, with floating lanterns, he discovered the beauty of balance and reflection. The mountain taught him that true strength comes from stillness, not struggle. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, steady as the turning of the earth. His cloud drifts higher, above the layer of mist that cloaks the valleys. Here, the air is thin and crystal clear. Stars shine with incredible brightness, no longer filtered through earthly haze. The moon appears larger too, its face serene and glowing. Wukong reaches out as if to touch a particularly bright star, then lets his hand fall back to his side. Beauty is meant to be witnessed, not grasped. This too was a lesson from his journey. To appreciate without possessing, to love without clinging. A shooting star streaks across the sky, its tail of silver fire lasting only moments before fading into memory. Wukong makes no wish upon it. He has everything he needs in this moment: peace, wisdom, and the gentle companionship of his cloud beneath the vast night sky. Imagine a warm night breeze, carrying all your worries away like dandelion seeds. They pass over a mountain peak where a small shrine sits at the very summit. A single candle burns in the shrine's window, its flame steady despite the wind. Someone climbed all this way to light that candle, to offer that small beacon of hope and devotion to the night. The sight fills Wukong's heart with warmth. Everywhere he looks, he sees evidence of gentle souls living with quiet purpose, tending gardens, lighting candles, feeding fish, sharing tea. The world is full of small kindnesses that shine like stars in the darkness. His cloud begins a slow, spiraling descent toward a familiar landscape. The celestial mountains appear below, their peaks wreathed in clouds that glow with inner light. Home calls to him now, not with urgency, but with the gentle pull of belonging. Let the quiet carry you like a feather on the evening wind. The jade palace appears ahead, its towers and gardens bathed in moonlight. But now Wukong sees it differently than when he first arrived. The palace is not just a place of power and ceremony. It's a sanctuary where wisdom is cultivated like flowers in a garden. The celestial beings he glimpsed earlier move through the palace grounds with the same peaceful purpose he witnessed in the human world below. They tend gardens of starlight, compose poetry on scrolls of cloud silk, and play music that sounds like wind chimes made from crystallized moonbeams. His cloud settles gently in the same courtyard where his journey began. The peach trees still bloom eternal, their blossoms now seeming to nod in welcome. The stone benches wait patiently, worn smooth by countless seasons of meditation and rest. Wukong steps down from his cloud and pats its surface affectionately. Thank you, faithful friend. Rest now. You've carried me far and taught me much about the art of gentle travel. The cloud pulses once more with soft light, then drifts upward to join its siblings among the stars. Wukong watches until it disappears into the vast tapestry of night. Float like a leaf on calm water, peaceful and without effort. He walks slowly through the palace gardens, past fountains that play soft music and pools that reflect not just the moon above, but the moon's dreams as well. Night blooming jasmine fills the air with its sweet perfume, and somewhere in the distance, a bamboo flute plays a melody older than memory. At the heart of Wisdom Pavilion, Wukong pauses to bow respectfully. The ancient tree still stands in its center, its leaves whispering secrets to any who care to listen. Tonight it seems to say, "Well done, young seeker. You have learned to carry wisdom lightly, like morning dew on grass." A celestial attendant approaches, the same gentle being who blessed his journey at the beginning. She carries a jade cup filled with liquid starlight, steam rising from its surface like captured dreams. "Drink, honored Wukong," she says softly. "Let this tea of remembrance help you hold on to tonight's lessons." Wukong accepts the cup with both hands and drinks slowly. The liquid taste of every beautiful moment from his journey. Peach blossoms and lantern light, mountain mist and river stones, temple bells and children's laughter. Feel the earth holding you, solid and safe beneath your feet. "What have you learned in your travels?" the attendant asks, settling beside him on a bench carved from a single piece of moonstone. Wukong considers her question, watching koi fish swim lazy circles in the nearby pond. "I learned that strength comes from gentleness, not force. That wisdom grows in the space between breaths. That the most beautiful gifts are given without expectation of return." "And what will you do with these lessons?" "Carry them lightly," Wukong says, smiling. "Share them freely. Let them guide my steps like lanterns, lighting a path through the darkness." The attendant nods approvingly. "Then your journey has been truly blessed. Sleep now with the peace of one who has travelled far and learned well. Let your shoulders drop. Feel all tension melting away like snow in spring." She rises and bows, then disappears into the garden shadows like mist dispersing. At sunrise, Wukong remains on the bench, surrounded by the gentle sounds of night in the celestial realm. Water trickling over stones, wind through bamboo leaves, the distant chime of temple bells marking the passage of peaceful hours. Above him, his cloud friend drifts among the stars, a small patch of silver in the vast ocean of night. Other clouds join it, forming a gentle constellation of rest and dreams. Wukong closes his eyes and lets his breath match the rhythm of the world around him. Slow, steady, peaceful, the lessons of his journey settle into his heart like seeds in fertile earth, ready to grow into wisdom, compassion, and joy. The night holds him gently, and he holds the night in return, grateful for every star, every breath, every moment of this perfect peace. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, safe and peaceful as a child in loving arms. The celestial garden holds Wukong in its gentle embrace as the deepest part of night settles over the world. Stars wheel slowly overhead, their ancient dance marking the passage of peaceful hours. The moon has travelled far across the sky, its face growing softer and more luminous as it prepares to rest behind the distant mountains. Wukong remains on the moonstone bench, feeling the cool stone beneath him gradually warming to match his body temperature. His breathing has become so slow and steady that it matches the rhythm of the sleeping earth itself. Deep, unhurried, perfectly at peace. Breathe slowly. Let each breath carry you deeper into tranquility. The koi fish in the nearby pond have settled to the bottom, their golden forms barely visible in the dark water. Occasionally, one rises to the surface, creating gentle ripples that catch fragments of starlight before dissolving back into stillness. The water whispers soft secrets to the lotus pads floating on its surface. A night blooming cereus opens somewhere in the garden, that rarest of flowers that blooms only once under the full moon. Its perfume drifts through the air like a benediction, sweet and ethereal, filling Wukong's dreams with visions of white petals unfurling in slow motion. The bamboo groves around the garden sway in the gentlest breeze, their leaves creating a sound like rain on silk. Each movement is perfectly timed, perfectly placed, as if the bamboo itself is breathing in harmony with the sleeping world. Let your shoulders drop. Feel them settling like leaves falling to soft earth. Wukong's eyes grow heavy as he watches fireflies dance between the jasmine vines. Their light pulses in a rhythm older than thought, older than words. The heartbeat of night itself. One firefly lands on his hand, its tiny light warm against his palm. He doesn't move, doesn't disturb its rest. They sit together in perfect understanding, two small lights in the vast darkness. The celestial attendants have retired to their quarters, but their presence still lingers in the garden, like the echo of gentle laughter, the memory of kindness shared freely. Their footsteps, soft as silk on stone, have worn smooth paths between the flower beds, paths that speak of countless nights spent in service to beauty and peace. A temple bell chimes somewhere in the distance, its voice carrying across valleys and mountains to reach even this highest realm. The sound is so soft it might be imagined, so gentle it seems to come from within Wukong's own heart rather than from the world outside. Feel your eyes grow heavy, like flower petals closing as night deepens. The peach trees that first welcomed him seem different now in the deep night. Their blossoms glow with the faintest light, as if each flower holds a captured star. The petals fall occasionally, drifting through the air like snow made of moonbeams. Where they land, the ground seems to shimmer with accumulated blessings. Wukong reaches out slowly and catches a falling petal in his palm. It feels like silk woven from dreams, weightless, yet somehow holding all the wisdom of growing things, the patience of roots finding water, the faith of seeds trusting in spring's return, the generosity of trees that feed the world without asking for thanks. The petal dissolves in his palm like mist, leaving only warmth and the memory of perfect beauty freely given. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, slow and deep as the tide of dreams. His cloud companion appears again, drifting down from its place among the stars. It has grown even softer during its rest, its edges blurred like watercolor paint on wet silk. The cloud settles beside the bench, not quite touching but close enough that Wukong can feel its gentle presence. We have travelled far tonight, he whispers to his faithful friend, through orchards of wisdom, across bridges of understanding, along rivers that taught us to let go. The cloud pulses once with the dimmest light, like a star breathing in its sleep. And now we rest. Wukong continues, his voice barely audible even to himself. We rest and dream of all the beauty we have seen, all the kindness we have known. Imagine a warm night breeze carrying you safely towards the shores of sleep. A family of rabbits emerges from the garden shadows, their fur silver in the moonlight. They move without fear, stopping to nibble at the sweet grass that grows between the stepping stones. Magnifique, largest rabbit, perhaps the grandmother, lifts her head and looks directly at Wukong with dark, knowing eyes. They regard each other in perfect silence, two beings sharing the sacred quiet of deep night. The rabbit's eyes seem to say, "Peace, gentle king, all is well. Rest now without worry." The rabbits continue their midnight feast, their presence a blessing on the garden. Sometimes, the smallest guardians offer the greatest comfort. These soft creatures who know the secret paths between sleeping and waking, who understand that safety comes not from strength, but from trust. The fountains in the garden have grown quieter as the night deepened, their water falling in slower, softer arcs. The sound has become a lullaby of liquid music, each drop finding its perfect note in the symphony of night. The water seems to sing of mountain springs and ocean depths, of rain on leaves and morning dew. Let the quiet carry you, like a leaf drifting on a moonlit stream. Wukong's breathing has become so gentle that the firefly on his hand remains undisturbed. His chest rises and falls like the earth itself, breathing, slow and steady and infinitely patient. Each breath carries him deeper into peace, further from the concerns of the waking world. The stars above begin their slow wheel toward morning, but morning is still hours away. These are the deepest hours, when the world rests most fully, when dreams flow like rivers between the waking lands. This is the time of profound stillness, when even thoughts move slowly, wrapped in silk and starlight. A soft wind stirs the garden, carrying the mingled fragrances of night-blooming flowers, jasmine and moonflower, night-blooming orchids and celestial roses that bloom only in the realm above the clouds. The scents weave together into a perfume that speaks of rest and renewal, of peaceful sleep and gentle dreams. Float like a leaf on calm water, weightless and perfectly supported. The jade cup from which he drank the tea of remembrance sits beside him on the bench, still warm to the touch. Its surface reflects not the scene around it, but something deeper. Visions of all the peaceful moments from his journey. He sees again the old woman feeding fish by moonlight, the tea vendor's gentle smile, the paper boats carrying flower petals downstream. These memories settle into his heart like pearls in still water, each one perfectly preserved, ready to bring comfort in future moments when peace seems far away. The journey has ended, but its gifts remain, carried in the breath, held in the heart, woven into the very fabric of who he has become. The bamboo chimes hanging from the pavilion eaves sing their soft song as the breeze moves through them. Each note is perfectly tuned, perfectly timed, creating a melody that seems to come from the harmony between earth and sky. The sound is so gentle, it might be the singing of angels, so quiet, it could be mistaken for the whisper of dreams. Feel the earth holding you, steady and safe as a mother's arms. Wukong's eyelids flutter gently, heavy with the accumulated peace of his night journey. When they close, he sees landscapes painted on the inside of sleep. Misty mountains crowned with starlight, rivers flowing with liquid moonbeams, bridges made of crystallized laughter. The firefly on his hand glows once more, then spreads its tiny wings and drifts away to join its companions in the jasmine vines. Its departure is like a blessing, gentle, wordless, leaving only warmth and the memory of shared stillness. His cloud companion spreads itself wider, becoming less a vehicle than a blanket of soft mist. It wraps around Wukong like the gentlest embrace, neither too warm nor too cool, but perfectly suited to the temperature of peaceful sleep. The cloud knows without being told exactly what comfort is needed. Let your shoulders drop completely, all tension melting away like honey in warm milk. The garden around him seems to be settling deeper into its own rest. The flowers close, their petals a little tighter. The fountains whisper a little softer. Even the stars seem to dim slightly, as if drawing curtains of velvet across the sky. A nightingale sings somewhere in the distance, not the full-throated song of spring morning, but the drowsy murmur of a bird half asleep, dreaming of dawn still hours away. The song comes in gentle waves, each phrase It fades into the background music of night. Wukong's hands rest loose and open in his lap, palms turned upward, like lotus petals waiting for morning dew. His fingers are completely relaxed, curved naturally, as if holding invisible offerings of peace. The tension that mortals carry in their bodies, the tight shoulders, the clenched jaw, the worried brow, all of these have melted away like frost before the sun. Breathe slowly, each breath a gentle wave carrying you deeper into peace. The temple bells chime again, but so softly now that the sound seems to come from inside his own chest. 3 notes, perfectly spaced, perfectly tuned, like the heartbeat of the sleeping world itself. The sound fades slowly, each echo softer than the last, until silence returns like a blessing freely given. In this silence, Wukong hears everything and nothing. He hears the pulse of sap rising in the bamboo stalks, the whisper of flower petals, unfolding grain by grain, the distant sigh of mountains settling into their ancient beds of stone. These are the sounds beneath sound, the music of existence itself, playing its eternal lullaby. The moon has moved far across the sky now, its light growing gentler as it prepares for its own rest behind the western peaks. Where its beams touch the garden, everything glows with soft silver radiance. The petals of sleeping flowers, the surface of still water, the smooth stones of the paths worn by countless feet walking toward peace. Feel your eyes growing heavier, like curtains of silk slowly closing. Wukong's breathing has become so quiet that it barely stirs the air around him. In and out, in and out, each breath lasting longer than the last, each pause between breaths growing deeper and more complete. His body has forgotten the urgency of waking life, remembering instead the slower rhythms of earth and stars. The rabbits in the garden have found comfortable spots among the soft grass and curled into small silver crescents of fur. Their breathing matches his own, slow, steady, perfectly at peace. Even the insects have settled into quieter patterns, their small sounds becoming part of the greater symphony of rest. A single lotus petal falls from one of the fountains, drifting through the air like a prayer made visible. It lands on the water's surface without a sound, joining the other petals that float there like small boats carrying dreams toward the shores of sleep. The celestial realm itself seems to be breathing more slowly now, the very air growing thick with peace. Time moves differently here in the deep night, not forward or backward, but deeper, like water soaking into thirsty earth, like starlight penetrating the darkness between atoms. Rest in the rhythm of your breath, slower now, deeper now. Wukong feels himself sinking gently into the embrace of perfect rest, not falling, but but settling like a feather, finding its place in a nest of silk. The moonstone bench beneath him seems to soften, conforming to his body's need for comfort. The cloud mist around him adjusts its warmth, its texture, becoming exactly what peaceful sleep requires. His last conscious thoughts drift through his mind like dandelion seeds on the evening breeze. He thinks of all the gentle souls he encountered on his journey, the fisherman patient with his empty line, the grandmother feeding grateful fish, the tea vendor who asked for nothing but presents in return for his gift. He thinks of the lessons learned in each place visited, patience from the mountain, kindness from the garden, humility from the river, gratitude from the return journey home. These teachings settle into his sleeping mind like seeds planted in the most fertile soil, ready to bloom into wisdom when the time is right. Let the quiet carry you now into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. The fireflies in the garden have grown dim, their light fading to the faintest glow. Soon they too will rest, finding their own hidden places among the leaves and flowers. But for now, they maintain their gentle vigil, tiny guardians, watching over the garden's transition into the deepest part of night. Wukong's heartbeat has synchronized with the pulse of the sleeping earth. His breath has become one with the breathing of all peaceful things. The flowers folding inward for the night, the fish resting at the bottom of still ponds, the mountains settling deeper into their foundations of stone and dream. The last awareness to fade is his sense of the cloud mist, wrapping around him like the softest blanket. It carries the scent of high altitudes and starlight, of paths travelled slowly and lessons learned gently. The cloud has become more than a companion. It has become part of his own peaceful essence, as natural as breath, as necessary as dreams. Sleep now, safe and peaceful, carried by clouds of gentle dreams. And with that last thought, Wukong drifts completely into the realm of perfect rest. His breathing becomes so soft it barely moves the air. His body settles into the deepest relaxation, every muscle loose, every worry dissolved, every thought wrapped in silk and starlight. The garden continues its gentle vigil around him. The fountains whisper their liquid lullabies. The bamboo sways in rhythm with his sleeping breath. The stars wheel overhead, marking time not in hours but in heartbeats, not in minutes, but in the slow, eternal rhythm of peaceful sleep. The lotus, petals floating on the pond, drift in small, lazy circles, like prayers written on water, like blessings scattered by the night wind. Each petal carries its own small cargo of peace, its own whispered wish for rest and renewal. In his dreams, Wukong rides his faithful cloud through gardens made of starlight, along rivers flowing with liquid moonbeams, mountains crowned with aurora light. But these dream journeys require no effort, no thought, no navigation. They unfold naturally, like flowers blooming in fast forward, like years of wisdom compressed into moments of pure knowing. Breathe and rest and dream in perfect peace. The night deepens around the sleeping Monkey King. Hours pass like minutes, minutes like years. Time becomes meaningless in the presence of such perfect rest. There is only the gentle pulse of sleeping breath, the soft whisper of night wind through bamboo, the distant chime of temple bells marking the passage of peaceful dreams. And in this deepest part of night, in this sanctuary of perfect quiet, Wukong sleeps the sleep of the truly peaceful, surrounded by beauty, held by kindness, dreaming dreams, made of starlight and compassion, moonbeams and gentle wisdom. The journey is complete, the lessons are learned, the peace is perfect, all is well in the garden of dreams. Sleep now, sleep deep, sleep safe, sleep long, until morning comes with gentle light, bringing new adventures wrapped in mist and possibility. But for now, only sleep, only peace, only the softest dreams